What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the World of Wrestling show. I'm your host, Jake Randy, and today we're going to talk WWE Elimination Chamber. It just finished right now. I want to know your guys' thoughts on tonight. What do you think about the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber? What are your thoughts on the ending of Elimination Chamber? We're going to get all into it today, guys. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment, or the chat, the live chat. Let me know. All right, guys. So let's go over this crazy night, right? I mean, was it predictable? Maybe. I think we all kind of saw what was going to happen tonight, but was it still entertaining? I would say it was still kind of entertaining tonight. We saw a lot of crazy spots go on tonight, but in the end, does it matter? Because it was very predictable. We end the night off with Roman Reigns winning, as everybody, you know, has been predicting for years. It was kind of questionable coming up to the Elimination Chamber because we had the whole situation with Roman Reigns and the steroid allegations, and we were just kind of curious what they were going to do with Roman Reigns. But I mean, deep down inside, we knew for over a year that Roman Reigns is going to main event WrestleMania yet again against a part-timer, the WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar, and it looks like that's sealed and solid and locked in right now. And it probably has been for a whole year, but it's official now. Now we see Roman Reigns is the #1 contender. So, all right, we kick off the night with the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. And we see Alexa Bliss retain, which is also something going on. And guys, if you can hear, I'm sorry I didn't just cut off, but I'm watching Raw Talk on the side. I can barely hear it, but just in case anything special goes on. I think they're showing John Cena right now. He's cutting a promo. Pretty sure he's talking about he's got like a sad face on. He's probably talking about how he doesn't have a WrestleMania match come WrestleMania. We all got a feeling this is leading towards him and The Undertaker. We'll probably see more about that Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Anyways, we see Alexa Bliss retain, and it is the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. They had some pretty cool spots here. It wasn't such a botch fest, you know. I think a lot of people coming into these first women's matches, such as the Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber, we all kind of weren't sure if they were going to be able to perform at a high caliber match because they're so new to these matches, the women. But they didn't disappoint, I don't think, tonight. There was a moment where everybody was just getting eliminated left and right. Like, the match started off pretty decent, and it started off with Bayley and Sonya Deville, I believe, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, it was Bayley and Sonya Deville, right? Okay, it was Bayley and Sonya Deville. They started off pretty well. Bayley did pretty good, lasting for a while. Then you had Mandy Rose come out as the third competitor, and there's Absolution going against Bayley, and it was kind of predictable, the entrances. Once you saw that Absolution came out, they started beating up Bayley, and you just had a feeling, you know, Sasha Banks is going to come out next, and they're going to have Sasha Banks and Bayley kind of team up against Absolution, and that's exactly what we saw. Then we see, I believe at this moment, we see Mandy Rose is the first person eliminated in this female Elimination Chamber match. She gets eliminated. She taps out to the bank statement. Sonya Deville tries to save her, and she can't do it in time. Then we see Mickie James come out, and she takes out Sonya Deville from the top of one of the pods. She jumps off and lands right on Sonya Deville and takes her out that way. I'm not sure what that move's called. I don't know if that's a finisher of hers. I've seen them show that move in promos and stuff, packages. So I guess that's a move of Mickie James that she does. But yeah, so we see Mickie James take out Sonya Deville. Absolution gone right off the bat. It's around this time, you know, once Mandy Rose gets eliminated, it's around this time that we start seeing everybody get eliminated. We saw Mandy Rose get eliminated, then we saw Sonya Deville get eliminated. And then Mickie James she gets eliminated like shortly after, I believe. Yeah, she's talking, I think she's talking to Alexa Bliss, and they're having this weird program where are they friends, are they not friends? We never even see them in the ring together, so I'm not even sure why they kind of built up towards that. Alexa's cheering her on from the pod. She hasn't came out yet, and next thing you know, Mickie James, she takes the Bayley to Bayley, that's right, or Belly to Bayley. It's always confusing to say, but she takes that, and that's it for Mickie James. She's out of here. We're down to Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss, who has yet to come out of her pod. The countdown starts going. Sasha and Bayley are talking about, let's team up, let's take out Alexa. Let's do this together. The countdown eventually ends. Alexa Bliss is forced to come out of her pod, but she locks the pod as Sasha and Bayley are trying to get her out. She goes out the other side of the pod, climbs the cage. And man, this is a dangerous spot. You would think for like, and I'm surprised they let the women do this for the first time, because this is their first ever Elimination Chamber match, and they let them. They gave them the freedom. That's awesome. They gave them the freedom to go up on top of the Elimination Chamber, climb the cage. I mean, Alexa was going all around the whole cage. Not literally all around, but she went on the side of the cage. She was up there. You had Sasha Banks and Bayley also climbed the cage as Alexa's trying to run. She seems trapped. She eventually gets on the other pod, and this is where you see Sasha Banks sort of turn on Bayley, where they kind of make the match even. Sasha takes out Bayley, and it's sort of like a triple threat style type of match now. Eventually we get to Bayley's elimination. Trying to exactly remember how she got eliminated. What exactly happened? I just know that, as watching this, this was very predictable. Bayley was gonna get tossed out. She kind of has that feeling, especially lately, where she kind of goes on a run for a bit, and then next thing you know, she gets eliminated by like one of the easiest moves. I think it was a roll up, right? It was Alexa Bliss that rolls up Bayley. So Bayley hits another Bayley to belly, or belly to Bayley, on Sasha Banks from the top rope, and you think she's gonna pin Sasha. That's it for Sasha. Out of nowhere comes Alexa Bliss. She rolls up Bayley. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Bayley's out. It comes down to Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, who have had this rivalry in the past. And when Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks are in the ring together and they have matches, man, I love it, because there's genuinely real heat between the two, or at least from what I've heard from the past, from Sasha Banks breaking all the way back to NXT when Sasha Banks broke Alexa Bliss's nose. And there's apparently this heat between them where they just never like each other, or Sasha Banks never liked Alexa, and they just have this heat between. But you can see that when they're in the ring together, it's like that real heat. And I know Vince loves that. Whenever, what was it, like Bret Hart and when Shawn, they really hated each other backstage, he loved it, man. He put that on. There's been plenty of times where there's real heat between two wrestlers, and they put on a great segment, because they genuinely hate each other, and you can kind of get that sense as a fan that these two genuinely don't like each other. So we see that between Sasha and Alexa Bliss. I'd say they do well in the ring together. Another shocking spot, Alexa Bliss eventually goes on top of one of the pods again, and she does the twisted bliss onto Sasha as she's standing up. It was kind of a weird spot, because for one, it was just crazy. I didn't expect them to actually let them do that, but Sasha doesn't even sell it. I don't know what the point of it really was if she didn't sell it. Eventually, she was gonna pin her, I guess, after she did the twisted bliss, but they're on the outside of the ring, so you can't pin them. So Sasha turns it into a bank statement, and they kind of roll into the ring together, but the move breaks up after a while. It eventually leads to Alexa Bliss putting Sasha on the top rope and giving her signature DDT finisher. Pins her for the ending of that. Not one of the greatest finishes. I honestly don't like Alexa Bliss's finisher. I think it could be more creative. I understand why she doesn't do the twisted bliss all the time. I feel like it's probably because when she comes down after doing the twisted bliss, she hits her knees hard. I feel like that's something that's why she doesn't do it all the time, because it's just gonna be it's gonna be taking a toll on her knees every time she does that. So we see Alexa Bliss retain. Man, I'm a huge Alexa Bliss fan. Got the Bliss Fist shirt right here. But I'm not gonna be biased. It was great seeing Alexa win. She's held the title for so long. It only makes sense. I do feel bad for Sasha Banks, as I'm not sure what they're gonna do to her. She does deserve a moment. I hope they do something with her and Bayley at WrestleMania. They have one of those like NXT takeover. Some people out there might want to see them go for the title. It's not what's going to happen. Hopefully they don't just stuff all the women. I would like to just see a singles match between Bayley and Sasha at least. They could definitely steal the show, even if it's not for the title. Then we see Alexa retain. So we see her kind of have like an emotional speech at the end. And a part of me feels like that was very genuine. She was just very full of emotion, and all of them were. You know, heading into this first ever women's elimination chamber match, you see them all come in when they were making their entrances. They definitely all look nervous going into that match. I'm sure that's very nerve-wracking, but they Alexa was cutting a promo at the end of the elimination chamber match. She's very emotional. Man, what a promo she cuts. That's all I gotta say, man. She's just great on the mic. She was born to be a performer. She's just amazing as a promo cutter. She goes out there and she starts off very emotional. Like I said, I think a lot of that was genuine at first, but then she plays it off just very professional, and she turns on the fans saying that, you know, I'm not sure what exact words she was saying, but she turns on the fans saying she's Alexa Bliss, she's going to WrestleMania, and of course this is what was going to happen. She outlasted 5 other women. Great work by her on the mic. So Alexa Bliss retaining, not very shocking. I felt like, you know, if you watch the predictions that we made yesterday, that's what we predicted. I'm sure a lot of people predicted that. It only made sense for Alexa Bliss to retain. Is she going to go up against Asuka? We don't know. They have this weird thing. They keep saying that Asuka has a choice to either choose the SmackDown Women's Championship or the Raw Women's Championship, but it looks like they're favoring the whole Raw Women's Championship. Like, it seems like Asuka and Alexa are kind of like there's a nail in the coffin there, but I guess we'll find out on Raw tomorrow. Next we see Cesaro. Is that what they call him? Sheamus and Cesaro versus Apollo and Titus O'Neil. Titus Worldwide. Not that great of a match. You know, honestly, I didn't even watch the whole match. I missed a lot of the beginning, but I know during the match, the crowd was possible. I think they were throwing a beach ball again in the crowd, so you know they weren't entertained that much. And you know, Las Vegas was kind of big tonight. I really liked the crowd tonight. They definitely kept it more entertaining because the crowd plays a big role when it comes to WWE. If they're just completely dead, it doesn't make you interested in the show. They were out there tonight making noise. It was great to see that. They just weren't interested in the Sheamus Cesaro and Titus Worldwide match. Again, another predictable match we see. We had Sheamus and Cesaro winning, retaining. Why would they lose it to Titus Worldwide? Why would they just build them up so suddenly and take them into Mania as the champions? You know, why would they do that? We see Sheamus and Cesaro retain. It only made sense. You know, there was a moment where Michael Cole, even during this match, and Jonathan Coachman were going back and forth on whether or not game plan was 1 word or 2 words. That's how interested they were in the match. That goes to show you, like, even the commentators weren't even interested in this match. You know what I mean? Then we see Andre the Giant has that HBO special coming out. I don't know about you guys, but man, I'm really interested in seeing this. They're really hyping that up well. That promo they keep showing. I hope I'm gonna see that definitely when that comes out. Then we see Asuka versus Nia Jax. Another predictable ending, you know, or not exactly a predictable ending, but a predictable winner. We knew Asuka was not going to lose her undefeated streak right before WrestleMania to Nia Jax. They kind of made you think that as they built up Nia Jax going against jobbers. I'm sure come Monday Night Raw, they're probably going to get rid of that whole jobber thing. She's probably not going to go against the jobber on Monday Night Raw anymore. I think that was only to hype up Nia Jax as the irresistible force, as her new nickname is. They even have it on the Titantron when she comes out. But yeah, they only did that to build up towards Asuka versus Nia Jax here at this pay-per-view. So it wouldn't seem like, you know, Asuka's obviously the favorite, even though I think we all knew that she was the favorite going into here. Asuka wins. She defeats Nia Jax through a corkscrew roll-up type of maneuver. Pins Nia Jax 1, 2, 3. Then we see Nia Jax attack Asuka and throws her to the barricade, or tackles her actually through the barricade. Just destroys Asuka. They have to take out Asuka. They show Alexa Bliss backstage, you know, talking about how poor Nia Jax, her best friend, could not win or something like that. But it's okay. Going to WrestleMania, Alexa Bliss, no, as she said, nobody is ready for Alexa instead of, you know, nobody's ready for Asuka. So, like I said earlier, I think they're kind of already putting the nail in the coffin that Asuka is challenging Alexa Bliss, even though we haven't heard a word from Asuka saying that she's going for the Raw Women's Championship. Hopefully they clear that all up on Monday Night Raw. Okay, after that we see Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. And guys, feel free to chat in the live chat. I want to hear what you guys thought about tonight. Did you guys like tonight? Did you guys think it sucked? Were you entertained? Did you not watch tonight? What's your thoughts? What would you give tonight out of 5 stars? Let me know in the chat. Feel free to talk. I want to talk with you guys. All right, then we see Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. The Woken Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. They kind of start off the night with Matt Hardy making his entrance. There's a couple of delete chants tonight. I mean, more than a couple, I'd say. Better than usual, as Roman Reigns cuts a promo on Raw Talk right now. But anyways, we see Woken Hardy comes out to the ring, and then Bray doesn't even have his entrance. He just appears in the ring, but as he's there, Matt Hardy's not there. He cuts a kind of one of those promos where he's just laughing. The laugh, man, you know, the Woken Hardy laugh, it's already killing me, man. I got to say, honestly, I'm not entertained by the Woken Hardy gimmick, so not right now. You know, it's just not connecting with the fans, I don't feel like. You know, they come out, they do the delete things, but it's not that TNA type of level, and I don't think they could replicate that. But, you know, why replicate it anyways? You know, don't try to steal something from TNA and try to do the same, because it's not going to be the same, you know. It's like a sequel to a movie, you know. When they try to make a joke that they made in part 1 and it's just terrible. It's the same thing with almost the situation. They could do better booking at least to try to get the Woken gimmick over, but I just feel like they're not trying that much. Maybe they're not giving Woken Hardy, Matt Hardy, enough freedom to work on this gimmick and give him enough time on screen. They're more focused on, you know, like Strowman and Roman, and Raw's just focused on other things. They barely give him promo time on there. We didn't have much of a build up towards this. You know, we still don't even know why these two hate each other. What, they just kind of appeared and one of them called out the other one, and all of a sudden it's like, who's the darker or who's the most craziest competitor? That's WWE booking for you right there. I think they should give Hardy more freedom. We see Hardy get the win over Bray Wyatt. I don't know if this is going to lead to a sort of WrestleMania match. I don't know if it will. I would hope that we kind of see something from them at WrestleMania. I'm not sure how many matches are going to be on the card, because as of right now, there's already like stacking up. It's already getting up there. You're going to have all the championships, tag team championships. You're going to have the cruiserweight match. You're going to have the world heavyweight championship matches. Who knows how many women matches we're going to get. This is going to be, of course, the pre-show, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I'm sure we're going to see that. As predicted, people are saying Goldberg might win that for the Andre the Giant documentary, which I just don't understand, really. But, yeah, so back to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We see Woken Hardy get the win over Bray Wyatt. Don't know if they're going to have a thing at WrestleMania. Are they going to have a feud going towards WrestleMania? Are they going to have another match? Is it going to be kind of like TNA where they had Woken Hardy versus Jeff at you know, at Matt Hardy's or that, you know, where they had it. I'm trying to remember what the name was called, but the deletion, you know, they had the deletion matches. Are we going to see that at WrestleMania, where it's going to be sort of like Orton versus Bray, and what was that match called? The House of Horrors match. I know that was a nightmare. That was a terrible match, but are we going to see something like that? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. Find out Monday Night Raw. Then we see, look, I got some images here, guys, but I'm not even showing them, so sorry for that. Let me throw up a couple images on here. So we see, as I'm going on, we see Ronda Rousey versus Triple H. Oh, what the hell am I talking about? We see Ronda Rousey come out, and she has her contract signing in the middle of the ring, as predicted by a lot of people on social media and just all around the wrestling community. Stephanie McMahon did slap Ronda Rousey as predicted. But hold on, before we get to that, all that drama that went down, let's talk about how Ronda Rousey still has no charisma. And I'm sorry for anyone who's a Ronda Rousey fan, but she came out there tonight and just on the mic, she can't cut that promo, you know. I'm not expecting a huge promo from her. I know she's still new there, but you know, she was made for like MMA, you know. That's where she was in the UFC. She went out there and kicked ass, and I respect her for that. She is one of the baddest women on the planet. But you know, on the mic, as a performer, as an entertainer of the WWE, she didn't exactly come out there and really drive to the fans that, you know, she's excited. She wasn't a great actor. She's not being a great actor, you know. That's her thing. She kind of came out there, and even the crowd wasn't feeling her. You know, we had already boos for her. We had a mixed reaction. There were some people in the crowd chanting her name, Ronda Rousey, and then we had some boos coming from the audience. And you can almost tell by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, they kind of had to pick up the scraps from her. They kind of try to make it more entertaining as they went on with the program. So I'm not sure how Ronda Rousey's going to get this reaction from the fans. I don't feel like it's going to go well for her as this is continuing to go on. Anyways, she eventually calls out Kurt Angle, right? He's standing there making weird faces, and Kurt Angle, man, something changed with Kurt Angle. Maybe he took too many shots to the head or something. Something's off with him in the head. Maybe it's too heavy of a script for him going on in WWE behind the scenes. Maybe they're telling him, you know, he has to say word for word these things, and he has to try to remember them. And a person that's his age, who's taken so many matches and beatings to the head, maybe he just can't remember his lines well. I don't know what it is, but Kurt Angle as well, man. He's not good on the mic. Him and Ronda in the ring, they really dragged this segment down. Just terrible acting by the both of them, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys disagree, but they just didn't get my attention, man. It was funnier than it was serious. You had Ronda Rousey try to call him out and be like, Kurt, what are you saying? You know, what's going on? You want to say something, Kurt? What are you talking about? And so Kurt comes out saying, well, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were talking shit behind your back, basically. You know, that's what he kind of says. And Triple H is like, no, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He had the flu, and that kind of made me laugh. Triple H calling him out, saying he had the flu or something, and he takes him out. He's like, you know, Stephanie McMahon will handle the contract signing with you, and I'm gonna take Kurt in the back so he gets well. As Kurt's leaving towards down the ramp, he still has the mic in his hand. He's like, wait a minute, Stephanie, you said Ronda Rousey fucking sucked or some shit. I don't remember what he said. He didn't say that, obviously. WWE PG. But he says something, right? He says something about, like, you know, you said you'd whoop her ass. Or you said you would beat her if it came down to you, Stephanie. Something along those lines. So then we see Ronda Rousey, you know, just kind of turn towards Stephanie, like, did you really say that? No words. Maybe Ronda Rousey's better with saying no words, but I'm not a big fan of her pointing at the WrestleMania sign either. Like, that was kind of cheesy, and they did that at the Royal Rumble. But we eventually see Triple H come back to the ring, as I think Stephanie McMahon and Ronda Rousey were having this sort of face-to-face stare down. He tries to separate the two. He goes walking towards Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey suddenly picks him up and puts him to the table. Triple H goes to the table. Stephanie McMahon comes to Ronda. This is the moment we all predicted. She goes to Ronda, smacks the hell out of Ronda Rousey. I've heard that Stephanie McMahon has one of the hardest slaps in the WWE. And she definitely smacked the fuck out of Ronda Rousey tonight. So we see Ronda Rousey take this slap, and I thought she was going to put Stephanie McMahon sort of in that armbar she did at, like, WrestleMania. And I think that's what the fans expected too, but, you know, Stephanie McMahon got out of there before any of that. Ronda Rousey picks up the contract that was on the table that broke. She picks it up, signs it, throws it on Triple H, kind of signaling, you know, this is the build-up for Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and a partner possibly of her choosing or something like that. So that's that segment, you know. I think a lot of people predicted that. Like I said, guys, tonight was very predictable. You could have looked at a dirt sheet tonight and you probably would have saw the same results as we saw tonight. So we see going forward. look at this during I believe this during the Ronda Rousey segment. Look at these fans right here. Look at this guy's face. The kid's face on the very left, and this guy over here on the right. It's just a funny screenshot I found. Moving on though, guys, we see in the next segment we see the Men's Elimination Chamber match. Kind of a small card on this event, as we see the Men's Elimination Chamber match next. The first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match. We see Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and The Miz start off the chamber in sort of what we thought would happen in a triple threat. Instead of adding another pod, it would have just been unnecessary, you know. Made sense. Start off as a triple threat. Pretty good, slow, decent start though. It started picking up. Cena gets out there. He's the fourth man in. He sort of has a stare down with Seth Rollins. They kind of go back and forth with each other. Then we see Roman Reigns come out next. He goes in at it. It's still kind of picking up slowly and slowly. As the match goes on, it's starting to pick up more and more. They sort of build up towards Strowman making his appearance in the Elimination Chamber. He's the next man out. The sixth competitor in the ring is Braun Strowman. He starts going on hell, man. You know, they're giving Strowman the push during this match. But at the end, you know, we do see it seems like this was all built towards Strowman being built up to that monster caliber once again, just to be taken out by Roman Reigns, so that Roman Reigns looks strong heading into WrestleMania to go against Brock Lesnar. During the match, we see a couple of spots again, a couple of similar spots. Like there was a moment where the Miz was running from Braun Strowman, kind of like the way Alexa Bliss started off the Women's Elimination Chamber when she was running away from Sasha and Bayley. You see the Miz kind of climb around, but then you have like this kind of funny segment where Braun Strowman's up on top of the pod with the Miz, and he's hitting him against that cage part area or that glass part, plexiglass, whatever that is. He keeps hitting him against that. It's a pretty funny moment. I think the Miz is the first eliminated, if I'm correct. Yeah. Miz gets eliminated by Braun Strowman, and from there on out, Strowman's taking out people left and right. Strowman eliminates every single person in this match except for Roman Reigns. He takes out the Miz first with a power slam, and then we see this pretty cool, I guess you'd say, segment where Strowman is taken out, Strowman is taken out by an AA. He kicks out of that. He takes the quadruple power bomb. He kicked out of that too. He takes a curb stomp and a coup de grace, but he rolls outside of the ring, or that was done outside of the ring. So I didn't even know this, but I thought you could pin an opponent. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought you could pin an opponent wherever you are in an Elimination Chamber match. I don't think it mattered where you pinned them. I didn't know that mattered, but apparently it does, because we saw that happen a lot tonight. They mentioned it on commentary where there was a competitor outside, and they say, well, you got to get them in the ring to eliminate them. I'm sorry if you're hearing the Elimination Chamber. Let me lower this down over here as it's repeating. You know, I didn't even see if Stephanie McMahon came out for Raw Talk. They said she would be there, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. I saw Roman and Cena on there, but yeah, guys. So we see, Strowman's just being taken out. They put him aside. I thought that was gonna be the end for Strowman. I thought, you know, they were gonna do the typical big man gets eliminated by everybody that does their finisher on him. But like I said, they were building him up to look very strong in this match, as he took all those finishers and kicked out. And later on, you'll see him kick out of more moves. But before that, I believe Elias comes out, and he does pretty well. You know, Elias is over with the crowd, man. I didn't mention how Elias kicked off the Men's Elimination Chamber by having his signature concert in the middle of the ring, this time in the middle of the chamber. He's over with the fans, man. He really is. I hope they give him something to win at WrestleMania, or they give him a moment at WrestleMania, because he's getting built up. He's building himself up. He's not getting booked, right? You know, he's just getting over with the fans naturally, and man, that's how superstars really should be created today, I believe. But yeah, so we see Elias come out. He doesn't last long though. He's the last competitor in there, but yeah, he's the second man eliminated. Another power slam by Braun Strowman to Elias to eliminate him. The match goes on. We see Braun take out. He just keeps beating up on Cena, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins again tonight putting on a high performance. He's really up there with the fans. You know, I know Seth's been over with the fans for a long time, but tonight and on Raw, you know, I think that Raw performance really boosted up his recognition with the fans, because they were cheering him tonight like no other night. They really wanted to see Seth out there, possibly Seth win. We didn't get that, but you know, Seth showed up tonight again, and he's performing high every night. You know, that's what Seth does. So hopefully we see Seth get more of a push in the future, like the rumors are saying. Will Seth get that push coming after Mania? We're gonna see Seth versus Roman kind of happen. Who knows? Hopefully, you know, a lot of people we hope get pushed, but you know, the fans don't always get what they want. So then we see Strowman out of nowhere take out Cena. I believe it was during a moment where everyone's sort of running their finishers on Strowman again. I think he hit him. Seth hits him with the knee. I think Roman hits him with the Superman punch. Finn Balor might have hit him with the drop kick or something, some signature move. Cena's going up top of the rope. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to aim for the double leg drop sort of move off the top rope or whatever that maneuver he calls. But Strowman, I think, catches him. Maybe he's just going for a crossbody because I think he catches him and turns him into the power slam. That's it for Cena. Cena's out of here. Takes that power slam by Strowman, and that's it for Cena. Next, we see Finn Balor get eliminated by Strowman. Again, another power slam. He's taking guys out left and right. Just power slam after power slam. Oh, and nobody's kicking out of it. I thought that for sure there was going to be a moment where he probably would power slam Roman Reigns, and they'd have the moment where, oh, that's it for Roman, but then he kicks out, you know. I don't think we saw that tonight. I think he never took a power slam. But we did see Strowman eliminate Finn Balor with the power slam after eliminating Cena. Then we saw kind of that they had that moment in the ring where it was Seth, Roman Reigns. They got to team up and be half the Shield or 2/3 of the Shield to go against Strowman. Speaking of the show, man, I would have loved to see Dean in this match. You know, he probably would have been great in the match. Too bad he had that injury, that unfortunate injury happen. Hopefully he heals up quickly and we see him soon. It doesn't look like we'll see him at WrestleMania, I believe. But hopefully after WrestleMania, he's good to go and we see him there. Because, man, he would have been good out there tonight. And he definitely would have had a good match with Seth at Mania. But hopefully he gets well. But anyways, we see Seth turn on Roman Reigns sort of in a way to make it even, just like we saw in the Women's Elimination Chamber match where we saw Sasha turn on Bayley at the end. We sort of see that in the Men's Elimination Chamber match with Seth Rollins turning on Roman Reigns. And so that kind of creates that tension where everyone's off for themselves, everyone for themselves. You can see they're building up Roman. They kind of put him to the side as Seth and Strowman have their back-to-back thing. It seems they kind of build it up to where, like, you're thinking, you know, Seth might have a chance. But out of nowhere, Strowman hits that power slam once again on a competitor. And this time it's Seth Rollins, who, again, does not kick out. That's it. Power slam, eliminated. Power slam, elimination. Power slam, elimination. Power slam, elimination. That's all it was for tonight for Strowman. But, you know, we see Strowman being built up to this monster among men. And there's one man left. And, of course, who else would it be but Roman Reigns, the big dog. So we see Roman Reigns and Strowman kind of have that stare down. Roman Reigns eventually gets the upper hand on him. He puts him to the cage. He throws him, or he didn't throw him, but Roman Reigns is against the pod. Strowman comes charging at him. Roman moves out the way. Strowman goes right through that pod. You know, we'd have to see that spot, right? It's Elimination Chamber where we see that spot. So we see that. And I think he kind of rolls in the ring. And at that moment, he rolls into the ring. The fans of Las Vegas knew what was going to happen. You start hearing the fans start to boo the match because you can see it, man. We can all see it ahead of time. That's how the push is going for Roman Reigns. We see Roman Reigns throw a Superman punch at Strowman. Then he sets up for a spear. He spears him. He spears him again. And I thought for sure Strowman, after kicking out of all these finishers, that he's probably going to kick out of the spear too, and they're going to build up more. I didn't think he was going to win, but I had a feeling he was going to kick out, and they would probably continue this on for a little bit longer. But that was it. He took a spear, and maybe they're building up that spear to be as lethal as the F5, as they've been doing with Brock Lesnar. One F5 eliminated, or one F5, that's it for the end of the match. I guess that's what they're doing with Roman. This time he delivered 2 spears, though, to eliminate him. And that's the Men's Elimination Chamber match right there, guys. We see Roman Reigns at the end of the night, #1 contender, as many predicted for over a year that we would see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34. Guys, I want to know what you guys feel about that. Let me know in this chat right here if y'all got any opinions on tonight. Let me know. Don't feel afraid to let your opinions free. I want to know what you guys are thinking. We see Roman Reigns, man. He's heading to Mania. I think at the end they had Strowman take out Roman Reigns just so that the fans wouldn't go home disappointed, just so they wouldn't boo to end off the show. They sort of had Strowman pick up Reigns, put him in the power slam. He might have given him 2 power slams. He throws Roman through the pod, and they have Roman there sitting down like he's unconscious with the WrestleMania 34 sign above his head saying Monday Night Raw tomorrow, tune in, and you're going to see the build up for, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. That's what ends off Elimination Chamber, guys. What did you guys think? Overall pay-per-view, man, I don't know what I rate it. Maybe 3 out of 5. I don't know. I want to give it too high of a grade. Pretty decent women's first ever Elimination Chamber match. I'm glad my girl Alexa Bliss won. I've been supporting her since the beginning, man. Glad to see her win, but let's see what happens tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, guys. I think that's all for tonight on this review for the Elimination Chamber. I don't think I'm missing out on everything. I got a couple of notes on the screen right here, so I'm looking at if I missed anything. But I think that was it, guys. Sorry if I missed anything. But tonight, that's the Elimination Chamber 2018 review. Let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, if you're watching this, you're watching it on playback, you're not watching it live, feel free to still let me know in the comment section what you thought. I'm interested in hearing that. Decent match. Decent show tonight. Not one of the greatest shows ever. Not one of the greatest Elimination Chamber pay-per-views. But then again, what was the greatest Elimination Chamber matches or pay-per-views? I don't remember. I can't think of one to recall. That was great. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. The World of Wrestling show. Subscribe today. Hit the bell to know when we go live. Join me on Mondays for the Raw reviews, Tuesdays for the SmackDown reviews, Saturdays for Showstoppers, where me and my co-host Nate talk news, rumors, and predictions. Whenever there's a pay-per-view on Sunday, you can find me here live on Sunday right after the pay-per-view, just like tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate those who tuned in tonight. You've been watching the World of Wrestling show with your host, Jake Randy. Hit the subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you guys tomorrow.